The world knows him as a musical genius, the man whose voice shaped generations and whose songs defined love, hope, and unity. But behind the soulful melodies and timeless lyrics lies a story of pain, loss, and unimaginable struggle. At 75, Stevie Wonder's life has reached a point that few could have ever imagined. Once unstoppable, his journey has taken a deeply emotional turn. The artist who taught the world to see beauty without sight now faces challenges that even his unbreakable spirit finds difficult to overcome. Fans around the globe are heartbroken as recent revelations shed light on his declining health, his sacrifices, and the haunting truths behind his silence in recent years. Stevie Wonder's story is one of brilliance, tragedy, and the quiet endurance of a man who gave everything, and lost more than anyone knew. From the moment he signed with Motown Records at just 11 years old, Stevie Wonder was destined for greatness. Blind since infancy due to retinopathy of prematurity, his talent seemed almost supernatural. He played drums, harmonica, and piano with precision that left even seasoned musicians in awe. By the age of 13, his single, Fingertips, topped the Billboard charts, making him the youngest artist ever to achieve such a feat. But beyond the fame, young Stevie's life was filled with isolation and pressure. Motown saw him as a phenomenon, and while the world celebrated little Stevie Wonder, he was growing up too fast in an industry that cared more about records than rest. Even then, behind the joy of his performances, there were moments of deep loneliness, a child prodigy trying to navigate adulthood before he was ready. The 1970s cemented Stevie's place in history. Albums like Talking Book, Innervisions, and Songs in the Key of Life became the soundtrack of an era defined by civil rights, soul-searching, and change. His lyrics carried messages of love, peace, and equality, truths that transcended race and language. But behind every song of hope was a man haunted by the weight of the world. Stevie's fame came with exhaustion, failed relationships, and the emotional toll of constant touring. He became not just an artist, but a symbol, a responsibility that often left him feeling trapped. "I'm just a man trying to love and live," he once said, his voice tinged with weariness. Even as his music lifted others, his personal battles deepened, and his search for peace became a lifelong struggle. In August 1973, Stevie's life nearly came to a tragic end. While traveling to a concert in North Carolina, his car crashed into a logging truck, leaving him in a coma for days. Doctors feared he might not survive, but when he awoke, he couldn't move or speak. The accident left him with a permanent scar and lingering health issues that would follow him for decades. "God gave me a second chance," Stevie later said, but that second chance came with constant pain. It marked a turning point in his life, pushing him to create some of his most powerful work, yet also serving as a reminder of his own fragility. From that moment on, Stevie's brilliance was forever shadowed by the memory of how close he came to losing everything. As Stevie's fame reached stratospheric levels, so did the demands on his body and soul. Endless recording sessions, world tours, and sleepless nights left him physically drained. He often spoke about feeling trapped in sound, unable to escape the expectations of his fans and the industry that profited from his genius. His blindness, once seen as his defining strength, became an added challenge as his health began to deteriorate. There were whispers of kidney problems, chronic fatigue, and other ailments linked to decades of stress. Yet Stevie rarely complained. He showed up, performed, and gave everything he had to his audience. "Music is my life," he said, and it truly was. But that devotion came at a heartbreaking cost that even he couldn't ignore forever. Throughout his life, Stevie sought love as deeply as he sought harmony in his music. He married 3 times, and each relationship brought both joy and heartbreak. His songs often reflected those emotional highs and lows. "You are the sunshine of my life," and lately, were inspired by real people, real pain. Despite being a father to 9 children, his career often kept him away from home. He missed moments he could never get back, something that weighed heavily on him later in life. "I've given so much to music," he admitted in an interview. "But sometimes I wonder what I took away from those I love." Behind the applause and awards, there was always a man yearning for the simple things: family dinners, laughter, and peace. In 2019, reports began to surface about Stevie Wonder's declining health. Fans noticed he looked frail during performances, and rumors spread that he was battling kidney failure. Eventually, Stevie confirmed that he was scheduled for a kidney transplant, shocking the music world. Even then, his message was calm and hopeful. "I'm blessed, I'm alive, and I'm grateful." But behind that optimism, those close to him say the recovery was grueling. His once energetic performances slowed down, and he began appearing in public less frequently. The man who once sang, "Don't you worry about a thing," was quietly fighting battles that few could see. His resilience remained, but his body was no longer the same, a painful reminder of time's inevitable toll. Now at 75, Stevie Wonder's once boundless energy has given way to reflection. He spends much of his time with family, away from the spotlight he once commanded so effortlessly. In recent interviews, his voice has carried both peace and melancholy. "I've done what I came here to do," he said softly, "but I still have songs left in me." Those words, humble yet haunting, moved fans around the world. He's accepted his health limitations with remarkable grace, but friends say he's increasingly aware of his mortality. Yet even in frailty, Stevie remains an inspiration, a man who transformed suffering into art, blindness into vision, and silence into symphonies. Stevie Wonder's influence stretches far beyond music. He fought for Martin Luther King Jr. Day to become a national holiday, advocated for disability rights, and used his platform to spread love and unity across divides. His humanitarian efforts earned him global recognition, including the Presidential Medal of Freedom. But what makes Stevie truly timeless is not just his accolades, it's his humanity. Even at his weakest, he continues to uplift others with messages of compassion and forgiveness. "The only thing stronger than hate is love," he often says. His songs, from Superstition to Isn't She Lovely, will forever remind the world that light can shine even in darkness, and that's a truth he lived every single day. Those closest to Stevie say he's spending his later years surrounded by those he loves most. Fellow musicians like Smokey Robinson and Lionel Richie have shared emotional stories of visiting him, describing moments filled with laughter and tears. "He still jokes, still sings, that spirit never dies," Richie said. But there's a sense of bittersweetness now, a quiet awareness that time is precious. Friends reveal that Stevie has been working on unreleased music, projects he hopes to share one day. "He wants his last works to mean something," said one source. "He wants people to remember not just the songs, but the soul behind them." Even in stillness, his artistry continues to breathe life into those around him. Faith has always been Stevie's anchor. He's spoken openly about his belief that his blindness was not a curse, but a divine gift. "God gave me vision through sound," he once said. That faith carried him through every hardship, the accident, the illnesses, the heartbreaks. He believes that every challenge has purpose, and that his music was his way of serving humanity. Even now, when his health keeps him from performing as often as he'd like, he remains deeply spiritual, spending hours in prayer and reflection. "I'm not afraid of what comes next," he recently shared. "I just want to leave love behind." Those words encapsulate the essence of Stevie Wonder, a man who never stopped believing in beauty, even when life tried to take it away. As fans reflect on Stevie Wonder's extraordinary life, one truth stands out: his story is not just about fame or success, it's about endurance, purpose, and the human spirit's boundless capacity to love. He's faced blindness, tragedy, and illness, yet he's continued to inspire millions with every note he's ever sung. Now at 75, as his health wanes and his body slows, his legacy only grows stronger. Every lyric he wrote, every melody he played, was a piece of his soul gifted to the world.